So I was just doing some filming this morning and my kitchen is just an absolute gong show. I wonder if there's a way for me to, no, there's not a way for me to switch to out of selfie mode while I'm doing this. So I'll just have to paste this together a little bit. But there's my filming, random equipment. Behind me, you can see 3 different bowls of oatmeal. I was shooting a video on oatmeal. And then behind me over here, yeah, just more oatmeal stuff. But anyways, what I wanted to do today, because I was having a conversation with my friends about this, was kitchen organization. I feel very passionately about having a well-organized kitchen. I feel like I should be the Marie Kondo of kitchens, because all I want to do is go into people's fridges and clean them out and make them organized, and then you'll like being in the kitchen so much more. So I just want to show you how I have everything organized in my kitchen, and then maybe you can spend a bit of time on the weekend decluttering your kitchen, because I know it's cluttered. I know it is. I've been in so many people's kitchens, like my mom's kitchen and stuff, where every time I cook in there, things are exploding off the shelves, and it's a pain to find any spice because there's like 200 spices and there's like duplicates of all of them and nothing's where it should be. So very passionate topic for me. So let's have a look at my cupboards, and I'll show you my fridge and just give you some general advice from a super anal cleaning nerd in the kitchen. We're gonna start with the cupboards. Now, I have a lot of dried goods, so I am going to show you my favorite cupboard. This is the cupboard of beans, well actually technically legumes, and spices. So all of my slightly more unusual spices live here, like the ones I don't necessarily use as much, like anise and amla and like amchur and stuff like that. The reason that I have them in little 6-ounce mason jars is not only because it's obviously super cute, but because they stack. So if you have a whole bunch of spices that look like this and they're piled into your cupboard, you can't really layer them because if you have too many of them in your cupboard, then all of a sudden it's like you have to pull out armfuls of spices to find what you're looking for. But if you have stackable mason jars, then it's very easy to find what you're looking for, especially if you keep them well labeled. Now, I will show you on my very messy counter, I also have my most common spices on the table, just like laid out on like my counter, because I just like my spices to be easy to grab, and I've labeled all the lids so that it's really, really fast. So big fan of using jars for spice storage. It's worth spending like the $20 to do that, I find. And then I have all my beans. So this is where I have like all my dals, and there's like adzuki beans and stuff like that. Now, when you get really high, it's the stuff that I use even less. So there's like chana, there's like kala chana, like black chana up there, and then some Korean chili powder. A couple ingredients that I use in very specific recipes that I don't use very often. And everything is easy to see and easy to grab. So I'm gonna take you down below into this cupboard. I don't know why I'm using a funny voice, but this is the not as organized one, but it does have, there is some rhyme or reason here. So aside from a couple really big things of beans, I use black beans and chickpeas a lot, so they get like giant storage. I also use like mung dal a fair amount, so that one has a giant jar as well. But this is grain storage otherwise. I have like 5 different kinds of rice in here. There's like a big bag of rice, but this is also where I keep my daughter's food things, like her cups and stuff, because I like her to be able to grab her own plates and bowls and things. And she will yell at me if she does not get to grab her own stuff. So, and then, yeah, just a couple random kitchen tools that need substantial storage. And then in the bottom, I have some toys, basically. These are like kitchen toys. There's like toy food, and I think there's Play-Doh and stuff in there. Again, I just like, it's nice for my daughter to be able to have things to grab. Now, while I'm on the floor, I'm gonna do a little scooch, which you can't see. I'm gonna open my pantry storage and share this with you. My pantry is pretty stocked right now. But the way I have this organized is on this side right here, I have all of my coffee and tea. This is a really, really cute tea storage unit thing. I just found it at the drugstore. I love it. Any extra ingredients that I'm almost out of. So I have like a backup tamari, backup Dijon mustard, backup hot sauce. And this is where I keep all my canned products. So tomatoes, beans, I have like a curry paste hanging out here, stuff like that. And then just my like pastas and backup pastas where the boxes are really big. Wow, sorry about that lens, you guys. I just cleaned it off a little bit. And then in the middle, I just have baking ingredients. So this is where my flours go. I have a few different types of flour, like starch, applesauce, and all of my dried fruits. And my oats usually live here as well. And then final is just stuff that doesn't fit anywhere else, basically. I have some extra baking ingredients like sugars. I have oil. This usually looks slightly more organized. This is, you kind of caught me on a dark day, but my strainers live back here. So they're easy to grab up front. I have some extra bowls, just like extra ingredients. I have like a backup milk and some peanut butter and stuff like that. So my whole thing with organizing cupboards and things is you want to know, I like keeping like with like. So the top 2 rows here are baking ingredients. So like baking powder, baking soda, syrup, vanilla extract, stuff like that. So that anytime I go to cook something, I know exactly where it is. I don't have to guess which cupboard I randomly stuffed it in. I always put things back in the exact same spot so that I know. So this is where I have easy access pasta stuff, like spaghetti noodles. My daughter calls it pasta noodles, and I think that must be my influence. Pasta noodles is kind of redundant. So anyway, random noodles. I have like my nori and like Asian noodles and stuff live over there as well. And then I want to finish by showing you my fridge, because this is the fun part. So since I've been doing a cooking challenge, there should be a milk up there as well, but it's on the counter. And I've been filming a bunch of videos of preparing recipes. My fridge is kind of full of things, of prepared food anyway. So the way I like to organize it, I put milk in jars at the top. And then in the upper layers, I like to leave them pretty empty so that I can put prepared foods there. Anything that goes in a container, any like leftovers of anything, I like to put in these top shelves. And I also have some extra random things like vegetable broth and butter and stuff back there. But generally, I like to keep those shelves pretty empty, save for a couple random things so I can put leftovers. And then this middle one is where I usually put lettuce, but I also have some leftovers from my cooking challenge hiding there. In the drawer is where I like to put cheese. I have like a couple different types of vegan cheese hiding in here. I like to put anything that's like half used. So if I have like half a lemon, then I like to store it in here. Basically anything that needs to get used up really, really quickly. Like my avocados and tomatoes and stuff like that, I like to put in the crisper drawer. And then usually I'll put some like leafy veggies. So the bottom 3 areas I like to reserve for fruits and veggies. I like to keep a root crisper. So carrots, potatoes, onions, stuff would go in there. And then I like to keep a drawer just for fruit, which is again kind of empty because my strawberries and raspberries are on the counter. And then, just other veggies that don't fit as well. So leafy greens, cabbage, stuff like that would go in kind of the middle portion. And then that takes me to the door of my fridge. So let's start at the top, actually. In prime position are my hot sauces, because actually I'm shy of a couple. I just ran out of a couple. But my hot sauces, my wasabi, my soy sauce, mustard, all live together. These are the things I use the absolute most, so I like to keep them at the top. Even higher and a little like messy looking, I always keep, I think this is, what do people usually use these for? Like non-vegan people, like eggs. I always keep garlic and ginger in this little crisper drawer for easy access. And then, I basically have like some baking ingredients, some barbecue sauce. And in the very bottom 2 rows, I keep stuff that I don't use very often or stuff that's too big. So like, this is a giant ketchup. It only fits there, so I just stick it on the very bottom. And then some of my more obscure ingredients, like I don't use yeast that often. I I don't use pomegranate molasses that often. So that stuff lives on the bottom, so I don't always have to crouch down to use it. And that is how I organize my fridge. I feel like if you're thinking I'm a pretty organized person, I'm going to show you the disaster that is my freezer, so you feel a little bit less bad. I will tell you, there is order in this chaos though. Everything in this top row, even though it's all smushed together, is a bread product. So I have muffins, I have pancakes, I have bread, I have buns up there. So it is like vaguely, horribly, but vaguely organized. And then I have nuts that live on the next shelf. I always keep my nuts in the freezer. This is another very disorganized area. I usually keep like my frozen veggies, or like my frozen tofu and any veggie meats and stuff I keep in the same layer. But my frozen veggies kind of exploded over into that area. And then, yeah, basically just like extra nuts and seeds that are in bags go in the crisper. I usually keep frozen fruit in the side door. And then I also have like frozen jalapenos and stuff. They freeze really well. So I love buying a big amount of frozen or of peppers and freezing them and then just pulling them out for the recipes that I'm using. I think, yeah, I have a ridiculous amount of frozen peppers, you guys. And then I also keep frozen tomato paste in baggies that I just slice off for recipes. So, ooh, I just got some gunk all over my hand. That's my kitchen. We have concluded this week with a kitchen tour. Thank you for watching, and yeah, maybe this is the weekend to get a few decorative mason jars and like put some, like organize your spice cupboard, get rid of things that you don't use. I actually did a huge fridge declutter at the beginning of the week, so I'm showing you like the nice version of my fridge, but I threw away like a giant garbage bag full of stuff, basically exclusively from the fridge. So it feels really good to be able to do that. And yeah, I just like being in my kitchen when it's organized. So wishing you happy kitchens, happy organizations, that you can't pluralize that, and happy cooking. And I'll catch you next week.